Kelvin grew up in a tiny village. His parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ade, sold vegetables to send him to school in order for him to get the best education. Kelvin became a rich man years later when he grew up, but his parents still living in that same tiny house in the village where Kelvin grew up from. Hi guys, this is a true life story of a young man whose name is Kelvin. He grew up in a very tiny village, living with his parents. His parents were very poor, but they did all they could to make sure they sent him to school. They even have to plant and sell vegetables so that Kelvin can have the best education in his life. Years later, Kelvin became very rich, but he still refused to take care of his parents. Hi guys, this is a true life story of a young guy whose name is Kelvin, who was taken care of by his parents when he was young, only for him to grow up, become very rich, stays in abroad, and abandon his poor parents in the village who took care of him when he was growing up. The ending part of this video is very interesting, so do well to watch it to the end, and don't forget to share, for somebody somewhere is waiting for this video. Also follow this page for more. Kelvin became very rich, lives in abroad, but his parents still live in this tiny house in the village even after he is now rich and stays in abroad. But his reasons were very shocking to many people. Imagine becoming very rich and refusing to help the same parents who raised you. That sounds wicked and evil. But wait until you hear Kelvin's reason. Kelvin grew up in a village, in a very tiny village where poverty was normal. His parents sold vegetables every single day in the market just to give him the best education. Because why? They knew that if Kelvin had the best education, he can have the opportunity to become very rich in the future. So they did all they could to make sure they sent him to school. And people in the village believe one thing, that one day this boy is going to be very rich. They also believe that he is going to change his parents' life in the future eventually. And Kelvin became successful. He moved to Canada. He started a business in Canada, and his business started flourishing and money started flowing in. Kelvin bought expensive cars. He built expensive houses. He bought a lot of lands, all in his name. And none of those houses, lands, were being bought or built in his village. And his parents, they still live in that same tiny house in the village where Kelvin grew up and left them behind when he traveled to Canada. And then the village people, they are very angry at Kelvin and they started to complain. They started calling Kelvin an ungrateful child who abandoned his parents in the village to suffer. They started calling him Kelvin. How can you abandon your parents in the village to suffer? The same parents who did everything they could, who sold vegetables just to send you to school, and who partially made you who you are. If not that they did all the things, I don't think you will still be alive by now or enjoying the wealth you're enjoying today. But when Kelvin finally responded, his response actually shocked people. He said, "My parents didn't raise me with love. They didn't raise me because they loved me. They raised me because they think that in the future I am going to be helpful to them. So they raised me as their own investment." Kelvin claimed they forced him to work in the farm every day. And when he failed exam, they beat him up like an animal. Whenever he complained, they would tell him, "You must succeed so that you can take care of us in the future." Kelvin said that his childhood was never like a childhood. Kelvin said that he didn't enjoy his childhood at all and he didn't felt that he was their son. Kelvin said that he felt that he is his parents' retirement plans and investment. But his parents told a different story from what Kelvin was originally telling people. His parents said that they sacrificed everything for Kelvin to make sure he has a good life and a good future ahead. The parents said discipline was the only way they know to raise a child so that he can be able to succeed in life. And that is exactly what they did. They only disciplined him as a child, not just a child, but their own child. And they are his own parents. Now the whole village is divided. Some people say that Kelvin is very wicked. And others said he's brave for speaking the truth and he's doing the right thing as well. And others said he is brave for speaking the truth and they think that he did the right thing too. So here is the real question here. Do children own their parents' success even if their childhood was very painful? Or is Kelvin right by what he's saying? That not every parent deserve a reward back to take care of when they are old by their children? Tell me on the comment section. Should Kelvin pay his parents in their old age? Or is Kelvin right by walking away to live in Canada and money all by himself, enjoying his life and abandoning his parents in the village? Or is Kelvin an ungrateful son? Be honest with your reply. Don't forget to share, like, follow this page for more. I love you.